About a week and a half ago, I decided to regrip my fiance's clubs. They were the original Callaways, and it was time for her to get an upgrade. Inhaled a little bit of solvent, saved a little bit of money. Let's see how it turns out. What does she have? She has Callaway X20s. Not a bad club for her to start off with. But yeah, no, see, they're the original grips, and it's about time. They're losing their tack, so we're just going to do a DIY little upgrade here of these clubs, and hopefully bring some feel back to them and give her a little bit of a better round. She's decided to upgrade to the Lambkin Sonar mid-size. So it's not a bad grip. I know I'm a mid-size as well, so it gives a little bit of a, ease to that grip, so you don't have to grab as hard. And yeah, so this old one here looks like it's her 9-iron. Right, so I like to tuck it under the arm, kind of use that balance. Always have the club face downward, and that just gives you a better leverage and doesn't actually spin on you. Always want to go away from your body when you're doing this, never towards yourself, because could possibly stab yourself right away. Safety. All right, I like to at least get a start. Ooh, good. Nice little pop there. Okay, so we got a little bit of a layer there. So now since I got that, I want to just pull, see how I'm doing. Get both sides, separate a little bit. Okay. Now we got that in. And now I found my little angle there without piercing in too deep, so I can kind of glide along the edge rather than go straight in. Okay, so we got a little bit up there. We're going to pull this off, see how much you got. Sometimes with these oldest grips, they'll just tear, and then you can get more. Yeah, like see right there. Tear in the wrong direction. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. So pretty much there. I think I'm going to actually get it on this pull. It does take a little bit of work, so feel free to put a little bit of muscle. Hold on for dear life. Okay. Yeah, see. So didn't want to give up. We got it. So again, I like to go back to the knife. There's always an overlap seam. You can kind of see the darker spot right there that runs all the way up. I try to, again, get that blade, run it parallel all the way. So get that parallel and run all the way up. And that way you have a little bit of a grab section on one side to peel it on off. Just a better way to see the line if you like. So just that overlap right there. That's what you have on every single grip when you get the single wraps, or if you're just doing it that way. There's a lot of people that have the smaller tape, not the 2-inch, and then you kind of do a spiral wrap, but just try to grab the 2-inch and just do the long lateral strips. All right. Again, many people do this different ways. A lot of people use the torch, have another method. This is just my way to possibly get a little bit underneath the club. Get underneath the face, get underneath the tape there. Okay. Yeah. And so you just kind of get it like that. You find all the little sections and try to be gentle about it. So This is a tedious process. So unless you have the time, the will, or no money, and you want to get new grips, but you don't want to spend the extra 20, 25 bucks, depending on where you're going, to get each grip put on, whatever it is for the entire thing. But, you know, one night, you can do it all yourself, you know, have the clubs feel more like yours. Or gives you the ability to possibly try out different grips. Buy 3, 4 different type of grips. Put them on each different iron. 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, see which one you like more. What I actually did recently was the wraps underneath. It's something I have been working on, or trying to understand, I guess, a little bit more. So a lot of players have standard grips, but they have 2 wraps underneath. And I'm trying to understand the difference on how much that is, you know, towards a mid-size. I understand that 4 wraps technically is the next size up in grip. So 2 is kind of the halfway point. But I tried it on my Win Dry Tech wraps. And due to the leather, it just stretched out the grip more. It didn't actually firm it up, which I think did the opposite result of what you're looking to have done. So it all depends on the grip you're using, what the end result is that you're looking to have, and how you really want to get there. So I actually am staying with the mid-size there for the time being on them, but when I move to different grip, I might try the Super Strokes, something like that. All right. So, you know, if there are some straggler pieces, usually you can just thumb it, rub it right off there. Just comes perfect. Okay. Now, we need to just give it a little wipe down. Sure, there's nothing actually extra on there. Glue, anything really can actually, you know, if you want to talk pro level, hinder a grip, but yeah, right, we're not there, so let's just keep it real. Get this tape pulled up. Just match the size of the grip when you're measuring out the length of the tape there. A little bit longer isn't the worst thing, but just put it on. Just get a vertical strip down, and the way that I like to do it to try to keep it as smooth and straight as possible, going all the way around, almost make like just a little C. Just grab, and I spin the actual club itself, and I just kind of go up, and I just kind of slowly work, because I'm not trying to force it into something it's not trying to want there, and you don't want to have any wrinkles, bumps, anything extra. So you can actually look, there's almost little fray spots from where my hand causes the friction, but it was the bottom hand that was actually turning. So that's good. Grip's on. You want to have a little bit over the top there. Yeah, you can see that. A little bit over the top so you can cover the hole for when you want to put your solution in. So I have a 5-gallon bucket to take the excess solution. I have a couple towels that will just help. G-towel. Love the G-towel. That'll help keep the you know, myself clean as I'm trying to tighten up the direction of the grip on how she would like it. Some grips are specific in the direction they need to go on. Hers are not. It's pretty universal all the way around, but for me personally, I want to have the labels straight and just trying to make it line up directly on face, so when she has a little bit of consistency. So anything you can anything you do to take out, you know, extra variables, that's always a plus. And visual variables are huge. So we got this on. I have no nails, no fingernails. So I need to use like a razor blade just to pop the layer from the tape itself. And once I do that, the tape comes off pretty easy. But you want to try to get all the way up before you peel the whole thing, so you can get the even stick going across and it's not twisting it all on you. So there we go. And then you just have to, I try to touch it at least amount of possible with my own hands. You know, I don't want to take away any of that tack more than you're already going to in the process here. So get the top, just a little bit of a twist, then push in there. Make sure that's not poking out. Boom. Good deal. Okay. So the club is technically ready to go. We're going to go back into that same arm fashion that we had before as we're sliding it on. We're just going to go straight down like this. That's where the solution is going to get a little bit all over the place. So doing this by yourself can lead to a little bit more of a mess, but you know, I have to figure that out a couple times. That's why we got the towels. And one for the hand, one for the lap. That's kind of how it goes. So, club's ready. The amount of solution we like to put in, I don't want to say about like half, but actually I would. I'm going to say about half, because when you're doing it by yourself like this, you want to give yourself enough time before it starts setting to truly align the grip. I mean, this one's not as specific as, you know, some other ones, but for me, I like to take the time to align the grip correctly. So we always have a little bit extra in there. And, you know, the bottle's only about $20 for that tall one. Usually you get a little bit extra when you get that self-wrap with 15. So coat over the whole grip, the whole tape. Whole thing, twist it around too. Make sure you got it all. And now you slide it on. Nice. Okay. So now I gotta align. And you gotta do it in a quick fashion here. You don't want it to be too off. You want to make sure that the face matches, the top matches the bottom. They do spin separately when you're putting them on, because the grips are a little bit longer, so they're not stuck together. You have to make sure that everything's still aligned. So right now, a little bit off. Usually there's a marking on the club to try to get straight. I do have one on hers, so that works out. I'll show you guys in a second. I just found it. But yeah, so we have it. And the last thing you want to do when you're doing these clubs is tap the bottom. Make sure you're all the way up before you really finish off and start the whole wipe down. You want to make sure that it's fully in there. So when we're doing her clubs, I noticed that she has the Callaway Golf logo. And that V there is pretty dead on for club face. So we're just going to try to get that line right there lined up to that on every single one of them. And we're going to just go from there. So that's final product on changing out a grip. You know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more that need to be stripped. I have 3 more ready for new grips. So we got 7. See if anything goes wrong. Let's go. an hour, we have swapped out all of these grips into a nice uniform style, minimize the errors, minimize the variables, and hopefully have a better game. We'll see how she likes it. We'll see how she improves. You know, it's still winter time up here. The weather's getting better, but maybe a couple of weeks we'll be able to get back outside. But we'll see how she does on the simulator that's coming up in a couple of weeks here. Catch you guys soon. Lost and found golf. There's always something to be found. She shot an incredible 106 on Saturday, her first time out. I shot an 87. Because we took a motorized cart, we were unable to film all of it. The rig wasn't there yet. The new camera comes tomorrow. DIY phase is over. Back on the links Friday and Saturday. Let's get it, baby.